Dear parents and students, here comes Seven, the Education Network and the IB Resource Center to answer all the amazing questions on curriculum and the right choice of school in the K-12 ecosystem. I'm happy to share with you that we've been receiving tons of emails and phone calls from the education community on very interesting questions. So here I'm going to take you through the complete IB curriculum. What is IB? IB is the International Baccalaureate Curriculum, which is also a methodology. And now, in this new age education system, you would be finding that many international schools are adopting this curriculum. So with this question as the central focus, that whether IB is the right model of education for the Indian students, I would help you to swim through the curriculum in length and depth. Well, you'll be surprised to hear that as of today, there are 188 IB World Schools in India, with the inception traced back to 1976. I'm going to basically answer 5 frequently asked questions here. So the questions are, how are the IB approaches to teaching and learning different from the other curricula? Well, is IB expensive? Or is IB, a very new venture in India and untested? Is it wise to select a high-budget national curriculum school versus a low-budget IB school? And the 5th question is IB the right choice of curriculum for students to step into the new world? Let's start with the history of IB. The International Baccalaureate Organization is an international education foundation which is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. It traces its origin way back in 1968. So fundamentally, it has traversed for more than half a century with its constant innovation and reinvention. Initially, the curriculum was meant for children of the country diplomats, so who were managing their profession through global transition. However, now with globalization, there has been an emerging need and I would say intense urge for knowledge transfer and sharing. And eventually, IB has started becoming very, very popular in the world over the years. The roadmap of the IBO is very concrete and structured, with its headquarters at Geneva, its assessment and grading services in Cardiff, Wales, and the Curriculum Center in The Hague, Netherlands. There are 3 regional sections. IB-AEM stands for IB Africa, Europe and Middle East, administered from The Hague. IB-A stands for IB Americas, administered from Bethesda. And IB-AP is IB Asia Pacific, administered from Singapore. This curriculum owes its origin to the French educator Marie-Thérèse Mauret. Her authored book, Educational Techniques for Peace, written way back in 1948, creates the robust framework of what you know as the IB Diploma program now. Now let's come to the IB changemakers. The Director General of 2021 is Olli-Pekka Heinonen, who is the Finnish politician and director in the Finnish National Agency of Education. You might be wondering that why is he chosen among so many deserving candidates? So let me tell you, the Finnish curriculum is innately considered to be a very advanced holistic curriculum, focusing basically on skill-based learning. And Olli infused the spirit of international mindedness in the Finnish national curriculum, which has a very good resonance with what IB talks about in its approaches to teaching and learning. So Olli has contributed in 3 areas, which clearly evinces a perfect sense of direction to chisel the learning environment through 3 aspects. The first aspect is, how is global progress possible even in the face of a crisis identified in the learning curve? The second question is, how can the potentialities and talents of the educational assets be channelized to create a fulfilled education system? And last but not the least, how can growth mindset, the concept which was coined by Dr. Carol Dweck, can be nurtured in the learning curve through a constant growth and evolution of talents. So IB has 4 key programs. The primary year program, or the PYP, is meant for learners between 3 and 12 years of age. The pilot launch of this PYP program was way back in 1996 in 30 primary schools on different continents. Then comes the MYP, or the middle year program, which is meant for learners between 11 and 16 years of age. And MYP was first offered in 1994, that is prior to PYP. In fact, the first program of IB is the IBDP, or the diploma program, which is meant for learners between 15 and 19 years of age. And the CP was, that is the career path program, was first offered in 2012, and it is meant for learners between 16 and 19 years of age. Well, you know that this is a very important question from so many parents and students, that why is IB such an advanced curriculum? Let me try and give you the answer in crisp. The first feature would be the unique methodology, where students get a lot of opportunity to question, explore, describe, analyze, critique, evaluate, and reflect concepts, and at the same time apply them in real life. The second feature is the way IB sets a benchmark as a broad-based curriculum in creating a holistic learning environment by nurturing the intellectual skills, social, emotional, gross and fine motor skills, and as well as the adversity quotient. Well, I would say the focus of IB on international mindedness is ubiquitous, where learners are always encouraged to respect others and themselves. Going in line with the question that why IB is considered to be such an advanced curriculum, I would say the statistics says it all. The market size shows that 81% of the countries offer IB, and over 1.4 million students study the IB curriculum. The unique feature of the IB curriculum is how it integrates its aims, objectives, and assessment criteria with the learner profile. Well, the IB learner profile is very, very interesting. And what it aims to do is, it aims to mold the learners as inquirers who are curious and passionate, knowledgeable individuals who are conceptually very sound in understanding concepts with respect to global perspectives, thinkers who deal with complex problems, communicators who are not only, very good speakers, but also listeners and observers, principled who have integrity, honesty, and dignity, open-minded who believe in respecting others' opinions and perspectives, caring individuals who deal the peers with empathy, risk takers who are risk lovers and love to take up challenges, evolving with a growth mindset, balanced individuals who have a holistic approach of striking a balance between intellectual, social, emotional, gross and fine motor skills, and reflective students who would infuse self-critique in their own learning process. Coming to the IB recognition, there are IB World Schools in 156 countries throughout the world, and IB students send their transcripts to higher education institutions in nearly 90 countries annually. So I would say that premier universities across the world admit IB students based on their IB credentials, and it is recognized by all the Indian universities. Well, the most common question we often come across is whether IB is tough. Well, I would say not really. It all depends upon your smart work. So take every piece of work in bits and pieces and try your level best to stick to the assessment criteria. So get your TOK, your extended essay, your internal assessments very thoroughly, scrutinized and proofread by IB experts. Last but not the least, yes, be very passionate about learning, because IB is all to do with a very research mode of learning, where you cannot just rote learn and, reproduce in the exam. So it is all about your passion and your love and interest towards learning. So don't learn just for the sake of exam. Another very common question which we come across is how are the IB approaches to teaching and learning different? So I would say the learning environment speaks a lot, which is very student-centric and which customizes the strategies according to every child's individual needs. IB learning environment completely nurtures a holistic development, triggering your intellectual, social, emotional, gross and fine motor skills. It nurtures the affective skills, which is more to do with your self-management and organizational skills as part of the life skill training. When it comes to, assessment, it inculcates the art of problem solving and how you climb up the learning ladder from the lower order to higher order thinking. So whenever you are, being assessed, please be very, very focused on the IB command terms. So now coming to the very common question which parents ask, is IB expensive? Well, I would like to address this question in this way, that it is not to do with the curriculum, but yes, the schools which conduct the IB curriculum might be a bit expensive for the simple fact that they need to operate with very high quality resources and very strong placement cells. So what I mean by quality resources is they need to recruit resources who not only have the apt qualifications, but also, upgrade and update them with the workshops and training programs. So for IB schools, the majority of the expenses would be diverted towards these teacher training programs, resource materials, and candidacy fees. Also, IB does not bank upon any one or two textbooks for every subject. So it calls for a plethora of resources, both offline and online, which schools have to make it available for the students. And so in a nutshell, I would say that since IB aims to provide a very gratifying experience, therefore there are multiple factors which need to interplay in order to successfully implement this curriculum in reality. Well, coming to one of the most important questions from the parents, can there be a trade-off between a high-budget national curriculum school and a low-budget IB school? Well, sounds very interesting. Here, I would like to suggest that, first of all, this comparison is not correct because the trade-off cannot be made between these two identities as they are not substitutes. Yes, I understand that each has its own uniqueness, where I can definitely say that a high-budget national curriculum school would also bring a lot of creativity and innovation in the classroom with their hybrid model or with their smart classroom or pedagogy and so on. However, at the end of the day, the punchline remains that nothing can replace a curriculum. Nothing can replace the IB curriculum. So in IB, you would find there are two categories of schools. One is the high-budget IB schools whose focuses of expenses would be very much on the infrastructure, on the state-of-art facilities and the campus development. Whereas on the other hand, you would find there is a fit and budget category whose focus would be more on the approaches to teaching and learning, more on the pedagogy than a very luxurious infrastructure. So now the question is, what is the right criteria of choosing an IB school? So here I would like to mention that if it is a school which is very established and has a very strong track record, of course, the keeping a track of this track record would be your criteria. On the other hand, if it is an emerging IB school, please look into the innovations it is bringing in the pedagogy and the learning system. And of course, last but not the least, check in the quality of resources because ultimately they would be the handholders to implement this innovative curriculum. Coming straight to the question from where we started. Is IB the right model of education for the Indian students to step into the global world? I would say yes to this question. It's true that India has experimented with a couple of innovative education models tailored by Sri Aurobindo and Jiddu Krishnamurti. However, these models were not on a very large scale. And now, with the advancement of technology, a complete shift has happened, and students are exploring careers which have been so long unheard. So, the current scenario of employability requires crucial skills like, creative thinking, critical analysis, leadership, problem solving, open mindedness, and all these attributes we've already seen are very, very well nurtured in IB. So, of course, I can assert that the return of investment on knowledge transfer and skill development with respect to the IB curriculum is really high. Here, I would like to substantiate with a data from the International Baccalaureate Organization. So it says that 43% of the Indian students, they get admission in the top Indian universities like Delhi School of Economics, JNU, University of Delhi, Christ University, Shiv Nadar, Ashoka, and there are so many. So IB is definitely very well tested in India, and it has been tested since 1976. With the IB pedagogy, it really prepares Indian students to compete with the global world. I would like to add on that now, the current scenario of competitiveness is mainly based on how you mold and steer your knowledge into real life skills than just sticking to the theoretical bookish know-how. So I guess you would be in perfect consensus with me that IB, being a very advanced skill-based curriculum, completely nurtures the skill development process and helps Indian students to step into the global world with a lot of confidence and grit. If you have liked this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned till we meet you next. Thank you for now.